Boo ba ba doo ba ba doo ba ba doo. A banana? No, I shouldn't. Well. Oops. Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom. Welcome back to my lab. Are you ready to learn? Wait, why does it smell like bananas in here? Well, never mind. I hope you're excited about our next day of creation. But before that, let's do some review. All right, today is day 4. Do you remember what God did on day 1, 2, and 3? Day 1, God made light and day and night. And day 2, God made the skies and sea. Day 3, God made land and plants. Now here we are on day 4, and after today we'll be over the halfway point of creation. What do you think that God made on day 4? So we've had light since the very beginning. It's the very first thing that God made, remember? But God wanted to make some specific sources of light that could do a few things. They would help tell time, count the days and months and years. They would help divide the day from the night. Those things are, of course, the sun and moon and the stars. But before we dive into the science a bit, let's read from Genesis 1. On day 3, God had created the earth and filled it with life, plants. Today, God will further his work from day 1, light and time, and give his creation some heavenly bodies that will serve those purposes. Then God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and seasons, for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens to give light on the earth." And it was so. Then God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. God set them in the firmament of the heavens to give light on the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. So the evening and the morning were the 4th day. So as Genesis said, God wanted a way to keep track of the night and day and something to provide light during those times. So he made the sun and moon and stars. But before we talk about the sun and moon, I want to take a bit of a step back and really look at everything as a whole. Okay, a really big step back to look at everything, because space is big. The universe is enormous. I'm talking like really, really, really big. You thought the Earth was big? The distance from the Earth to the moon is like if you took 30 copies of the Earth and laid them all in a line. That's crazy. And that's just to the moon, which is close when you think about how the sun is nearly 11,750 copies of the Earth away. To put those big numbers into perspective, if you were somehow able to ride in a special car that could drive into space, but at the speeds that we're used to, so let's say 70 miles an hour without stopping ever, it would take you 142 days straight driving to get to the moon. If that car was capable of driving to the sun, however, that trip would take you 55,357 days, or 151 years. For the record, driving from, say, Nashville to Disney World takes 10 hours. Let's talk about space. If we're going to talk about space, we should start with the sun. The sun is actually a star, and the other stars are just so far away that they look smaller. The sun is in the center of our galaxy. The name of our galaxy is the Milky Way. Hundreds of years ago, people thought that the Earth was in the center of the galaxy and the sun and the moon revolved around the Earth. Some smart folks figured out that the sun is in the middle and all the planets revolve around the sun. That's why the sun moves through the sky, because we're revolving around the sun also while spinning. The sun is a big ball of burning gas that is held together by incredible gravity. That burning generates so much light and heat that it comes all the way here on Earth to light and warm the planet. And it's so far away that it takes about 8 minutes for that light to reach the Earth. Remember on day 1 how we talked about how fast light is? Super duper fast. So think about that when you think about how long that takes. Pretty wild. Only 1/2 of the Earth is hit by the sun's rays at a time. This side is day, and the other is night. So the sun stays put, and the Earth revolves around it while spinning around slowly. So half of the day, one side of the Earth is warm and sunny, and the other half is cooler and dark. And during the summer, some parts of the Earth are a little bit closer to the sun, so that's why it gets hot. And if you put 2 and 2 together, why do you think the Earth is cooler in the winter? That's right, that's because some parts of the Earth are just a little bit further away. You see, it takes the Earth 365 days to travel around the sun. And those differences in distance is what gives us the 4 seasons: winter, spring, summer, and fall. Think about the shape of the Earth, a ball or a sphere. Put on those scientist caps. Why do you think it would be warmer close to the widest point on the Earth, or the equator? Well, which is closer to the sun? This part or this part? Right, it's hotter the further down, the closer to the sun. So as you go south, it gets hotter. As you go north, it gets colder. That's why it's hotter in Mexico than it is in Canada. The sun is the center of the solar system. All of the other planets revolve around the sun. See, there are 8 planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Sorry, Pluto, you got kicked out. See, all of those other planets follow a path circling the sun, but the Earth is the only one that supports life. God made Earth extremely special. Think about what we just said about the way that the sun heats the Earth. If the Earth was very much closer to the sun, it'd be too hot for life. If the Earth was further away, it would be too cold. God placed the sun and Earth in just the right place for us, and I think that's pretty awesome. God also made the moon. How is the moon different from the sun? Well, for starters, it's way smaller than the sun. It's even smaller than the Earth. It also doesn't create its own light. The moon's light is actually just a reflection from the sun. The moon is just a big giant rock that's circling around the Earth. So the moon is kind of like a big mirror for the sun that helps out when the sun is on the other side of the Earth. Have you ever wondered why the moon looks different on some nights? That the shape changes and goes from a circle to something that looks like a fingernail? Well, that's because since it's circling the Earth, the angle from which the sun's light is coming changes through the month. It takes about a month for the moon to go around the Earth. Here's a picture that might help explain that bit. See, we can only see a portion of the light hitting the sun, depending on where we are on the Earth and where the moon is. So that's why sometimes there's a full moon, sometimes it looks like just a little piece, and sometimes we can't even see it at all. I think it's so cool that God made all of this stuff thousands and millions of miles away from us, all this mystery of deep space. We're on a really big planet, especially compared to us, but compared to the rest of the universe, we are so tiny. But God put tiny little us on this planet and made our planet more special than all of His creation. For us, God provides for us, and that's awesome.
Ugh, that's a little frightening.
What's scary about that, Skeeter?
Everything being so big when we're so small. That's intimidating. Tiny little Skeeter on a rock hurtling through space at hundreds and thousands of miles an hour, just a speck of the universe. Here and gone in an instant, like dust on the wind, drifting in the ether of the cosmos. I think I'm having an existential crisis. Do you have a paper bag I could breathe into?
Now, Skeeter, calm down. There's no reason to get all bent out of shape about it. But maybe this will give you a little comfort. That big giant universe that you seem so little compared to, there's something even bigger out there.
Oh, how could there be something bigger? I thought you were trying to make me feel better, and now I'm gonna have to talk to my therapist.
Skeeter, chill. You little bundle of nerves. Relax. I'm talking about God. The universe is big, but God is way bigger. After all, He made it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That does make me feel better. That's so silly of me to get scared. I know that God is big.
Skeeter, I would imagine that it would be pretty scary to think about a big giant universe with no purpose behind it. But God made us for a reason. He loves us. And sadly, there's some people who don't know about God, or even sadder, don't want to know about God. They think that all of this is just a random accident with no meaning at all.
Some people think God isn't real? That's crazy. I don't know how you can look at all that He's created and come to that conclusion. Well, the evidence is overwhelming.
That's exactly right. And that's exactly what our verse of the day says. Romans 1:20, for since the creation of the world, His invisible attributes are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even His eternal power and Godhead, so they are without excuse.
Invisible attributes, what does that mean?
Well, since we can't see God, we have to look for evidence of God in the things around us. And if you ask me, the evidence of God it's staggering. Look all around us. Only something incredibly powerful like God could have made something so wonderful, so massive, so detailed and complex and diverse and creative. God is so powerful. So what this verse is saying is that if you're not able to notice God in creation, then you have no excuse.
Wow, can we talk more about how we can see God in creation? You got me curious.
Of course, but let's do that tomorrow. Tomorrow, God is going to start making birds and fish, and there's some real interesting ones. Okay, boys and girls, Mr. Cliff is going to teach you the next verse of the creation song. But before that, let's sing the first 3 verses.
Okay, guys, let's start with day 1. Day one, God made light when there was none. Day one, God made light when there was none. Day two, God made skies and clouds so blue. Day two, God made skies and clouds so blue. Day three, God made flowers and grass and trees. Day three, God made flowers and grass and trees. All right, guys, man, as always, you guys are doing a great job. Now it's time for the new verse. Are you guys ready? Day 4. Day four, sun and moon and stars galore. Day four, sun and moon and stars galore. Wow, man, look at that. Now you guys have learned over half of the creation song. I'll give you guys a nice pat on the back. Yeah. So today we learned how big the universe is. But you know who's bigger? Yeah, God, that's right. Let's sing about how big our God is. Are you guys ready? All right, here we go. My God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. The mountains are His, the valleys are His, the trees are His handiwork too. My God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do for you. Good job, guys. Oh, it's awesome. Hey, if you want to do some more singing, come and sing along with us on the next VBS sing-along video. See you there.
Bye.
Bye.